Hello, Best Recaps here. Today we will talk about a 2017 movie called A Dog's Purpose. Remember that if you enjoy summaries, you can support the channel by leaving your like, subscribing, and ringing the bell. Don't forget to comment below your favorite part. At the beginning of the movie, a question is posed to us. What is the meaning of life? Are we alive for a reason? It seems that the one pondering this is a newly born puppy. He mentions that at first, he had no idea where he was. He only knew who his mother and siblings were. He wondered if having fun is the sole purpose of life. However, one day, he ended up caught by 2-pound officers who captured him in a net and took him away to be put down. He mentions that his life was relatively short, returning to the same place he started because suddenly he was back as a puppy again. However, this time, he was in a cage trying to find his mother's milk and surprised to remember his previous life. The dog breeder shows him to a customer and presents him as a red retriever. The customer observes him and holds him, but it seems he's not interested as he asks if they have a smaller dog. However, when he tries to put the puppy back in its place, he can't close the cage and manages to escape. Once on the ground, he escapes through a hole in the fence and runs toward his freedom. However, it doesn't last long because he only crosses the fence and grass to encounter a cardboard box that obscures his vision, catching the attention of 2 men who think they can make a few dollars by selling him. The 2 men park their car and go to a bar, leaving the poor puppy without water and with the windows closed. Soon he begins to dehydrate and asks himself one question in his mind over and over: where can he find some water? But soon, a boy named Ethan peers through the window and tells his mother about the puppy. They can see his suffering. His mom breaks the car window and takes the dog home. He passes out, and when he wakes up, he sees Ethan again. Ethan calls him a friend and asks how he's doing. The puppy says he had never seen a friend in his life. Soon, his mom tells Ethan that the puppy will recover because he seems very smart, and Ethan asks his mother if he can keep him. But before she answers, the puppy mentions that in that moment he decided he was going to keep that so-called friend. Then he tries to convince his dad to adopt the dog, but he doesn't seem happy about it as he doesn't think his son is ready to have a pet. His mom tells him she has already talked to Ethan and he will take care of the dog. She tells her husband that their son needs a friend, but his dad asks her to play with the dog outside to talk to his mom alone. While in the house, they discuss the dog because he's gonna make a mess, and he doesn't want any additional responsibility. Ethan tells the puppy not to worry because if his dad doesn't agree to keep him, they will find another family for him. Finally, Ethan's father comes out and says that they now have a dog, and Ethan is very happy. They decide to name the dog Bailey, and his mom takes him to get his tag. Afterward, Ethan tries to teach his dog some tricks, but Bailey doesn't understand much. He just has fun. What he does understand is that his owner is named Ethan, and his name is Bailey. He says he knew his place in the pack, so he spends all his time in the house playing with all the family members, and even learns to live with the cat. But above all, his friendship with Ethan grows stronger day by day. Soon, the family takes a trip to the grandparents' house. On the way, Bailey enjoys the smell of goats, although the family isn't pleased with the odor. At the grandparents' farm, they finally meet Bailey, and they fall in love with him. Bailey enjoys his time on the farm with the chickens. There, he learned that maybe the purpose of life was simply to enjoy it and forget about everything else. He also plays ball. During a scene, Ethan's father is shown to be upset about a work issue and the threat of nuclear war in the world. Ethan feels uncomfortable and asks for permission to leave the table. Bailey finds a deflated ball and gives it to Ethan to cheer him up. They play all afternoon, and Ethan shows his father a trick he taught Bailey. He throws the ball and Bailey jumps on his back to catch it. His dad congratulates him. When school starts, they return home. Every morning, a big yellow bus takes Ethan away from Bailey, and then Mom also leaves the house. Bailey is alone, hungry, and bored, so he amuses himself with the cat. When Ethan comes home, he notices the mess Bailey has made and starts cleaning it up. But his father arrives shortly after. He's furious with Bailey and tells Ethan that he needs to show the dog who's in charge. His supervisor is coming soon, and he hopes to get a promotion, so he pressures Ethan to clean up. When Ethan finishes, his father takes out his coin collection, but his wife calls him and Ethan looks at one of the coins, which falls and is swallowed by Bailey. During dinner, Ethan's dad's boss praises him for his field sales work and says he has a lot of talent. Ethan's dad asks his boss if he can get a promotion, but the boss says he does his job too well, so he won't promote him. Later, Ethan's dad decides to retrieve his coins to show them to his boss, especially the one Bailey swallowed. Ethan asks for permission to leave. On the sidewalk, he tries to get his dog to do his business and return the coin. Bailey is confused and doesn't know what is wanted, but fortunately, Bailey feels the urge and spits out the coin. When Ethan returns, his father is already holding the box. To distract him, Ethan says there's a rat under the table, and things become chaotic. Ethan rushes and in the midst of the chaos, places the coin back where it belongs. Unfortunately, the boss's wife ends up on the food and breaks the table. Ethan's dad is angry because his promotion will never happen now. They decide to lock Bailey in the garage. Both feel sad, but Bailey manages to make his way back to Ethan's room. Time passes, and Ethan now plays high school football. However, his dad appears to be dealing with alcohol problems and seems to be fed up with life. During the holidays, while visiting an amusement park, Bailey notices that Ethan has a different scent when he watches a girl playing a game, so Bailey helps him, and that's how he meets Hannah, and they have fun playing various games. Soon, Hannah becomes part of the pack, and they spend every day together playing and swimming. Ethan and Hannah wrestle and lick each other. Bailey believes they are fighting over food. They make plans for the future because the summer is coming to an end. They want to go to the same college and be together all the time. When Ethan returns home and realizes his parents are arguing, it seems his father has become violent. Ethan defends his mother and asks his father to leave because he can no longer stay in the house. Bailey mentions that from that moment, Izon became the leader of the pack. Shortly after, the family cat died, but Bailey didn't understand it. He thought the cat was hiding from him, so he decided to dig it up, scaring Izon's mom. Later, Ethan scores the winning point in another game and tells his mother he received a full scholarship to college. He celebrates with Hannah at a burger joint. When his father enters, he appears to be drunk and embarrasses him. One of the guys is jealous of Ethan, so he decides to make fun of what his father did. Ethan doesn't take it well. Later, the guy arrives at his house and throws fireworks into the mailbox, setting the carpet on fire. Bailey bites him, and the guy runs away, but the house is soon engulfed in flames. He runs to wake up Ethan, and Ethan wakes up his mother. They tie their sheets together to escape through the window. The neighbors help them. Ethan gets both out but loses his sheets, so he decides to jump. When he does, a flaming log crushes his leg, and he is taken to the hospital. Bailey finds the culprit and quickly confesses to the police. Because of what happened, Ethan and his mother went to the grandparents. It seems Ethan lost his scholarship because he injured his foot. Bailey had a lot of free time because Ethan was angry. He and his new friend loved his scent. Soon, Hannah came to visit them at the farm, but Ethan decides that it's best for them to break up now as she has to go to college and shouldn't carry the burden of what happened. She throws the ball to Bailey one last time and leaves, heartbroken. Soon, Eisen prepares to go to his new agricultural school to learn how to manage the grandparents' farm. Bailey won't let him go easily, but he understands that his friend has to leave and now he will look for a reason to stay on the farm. He mentioned that time seemed to go slower, and that was fine because he no longer had the urge to run. He was tired all the time. The grandmother noticed that something was not right, so they took Bailey to the veterinarian. There, they learned that his kidneys were failing. He was barely conscious. Fortunately, he had enough time to say goodbye to Ethan. The doctor says he will only feel a prick in his neck and the pain will disappear. Once again, it all starts over, only now it's a female. Her new owner is Carlos Lewis, a Chicago police officer, and Bailey, now named Eli, is a police dog. However, despite their good work, Carlos still seems sad and lonely. Apparently, someone else lived with him but was no longer there. Eli could faintly sense their scent. One day, a girl was kidnapped by an armed man. Eli soon used his keen sense of smell to find the girl at the dam, but the man decided to throw her into the water. Eli jumped to save her, rescuing them, while Carlos chased after the kidnapper. Carlos was ambushed, but Eli managed to save his life. Unfortunately, she got shot. Carlos cried as Eli slowly faded away. Carlos and he knew they had done very well. It all starts again in his next life. His name is Tino. His owner, Maya, was also sad, so he always cheered her up. One day, a boy approaches her and invites her to join his study group. No matter how much he insists, Maya rejects him and mentions that she understands Maya so well that he can read her mind. So he knows when Maya wants French fries, pizza, or ice cream. Maya wonders if her life will be just her and him. When she goes to the doctor, she asks what she's been feeding Tino because he needs more exercise. In this life, Tino is very lazy. He doesn't want to chase the ball until he sees Roxy at the park. There, everything changed. His heart raced. Turns out Roxy's owner is the guy who asked Maya out before, and they started dating. Tino loved seeing Roxy everywhere, even at the wedding. Later, while watching TV, Tino wonders what that sound in Maya's belly is. Soon, they have their first baby. Now, Tino won't get as much attention, but Roxy and he had each other. As the babies grew, Tino had to keep Roxy safe and play with the kids. Tino mentions that as they all grew older, the connection with Roxy grew stronger and they never lost their spark. One day, Roxy went to the vet and never came back. They were all good years, but over time, he missed Roxy. One day, Maya approaches Tino, but it seems he doesn't want anything else. She asks him what he's thinking, and he replies that he thinks he's ready. It was one of the best lives, so it all starts again. Here we go again, the puppy Waflex. Soon, he finds a home with Wendy's boyfriend, Victor. Victor doesn't like the idea of having a dog at all, so he doesn't let Waflex inside the house. He's always chained outside, and as he grew, Wendy lost interest in him. They never went out together and they never played. A little later, Victor puts Waflex in his truck and takes him far away, assuring Wendy that he won't find a responsible owner. But Waflex is left on his own on a cold night. Despite being lost and alone, he was grateful for his freedom. As he walks near a dog park, a dog runs toward him, and for some reason, Waflex feels like he's known his scent for a long time. He follows the scent, runs through the woods, until he's in vast wheat fields. Once again, he feels like he's been there before. His nose is filled with fresh, new scents, far from the city, and scents that are unforgettable. Soon, he finds the horse dog, his friend from the farm. Incredibly, it's the same horse dog from a long time ago. He wonders if Ethan might still be on the farm. Waflex manages to see him from a distance and jumps on him, shouting his name inside. So Bailey finally found him. Ethan feeds Woody and tells him he can't stay there because he has a home he belongs to. He sends him home, but Woody stays in front of the door all night. Ethan drives and takes him to a shelter. However, Ethan feels guilty and returns the next day for his new friend. Ethan bathes him and gets him a collar. His new name is Woody, but Woody realizes that Ethan seems sad. Maybe it's because he sleeps alone. He remembers a scent he recognized before and comes up with an idea. He goes back to the dog park. There, he follows a pregnant woman with her son and her dog. Upon arrival, he realizes that the girl's mom is Hannah. She checks his collar and discovers that he belongs to Ethan. Hannah takes Woody back to the farm. Ethan can't believe what he sees, and he's afraid to open the door. He hides, but Woody barks enough to make him come out. They talk about everything that has happened in their lives. Ethan never got married, and Hannah's husband died, but he wonders if they'll see each other like old times. Ethan apologizes for what happened, saying that not a day goes by when he doesn't blame himself for what he did. They lick each other's faces and decide to go out again. Some time later, they decide to get married. Ethan was very happy with his new family. After the wedding, Woody wants him to know that he is indeed the old Bailey. So he goes into the barn and fetches the old flat soccer ball they used to play with. Ethan plays with him for a while and realizes he knows the trick they used to practice with Bailey. That's when Ethan knows he is Bailey. Bailey mentions what he learned in all his lives. Have fun, of course, but when possible, seek out someone who needs to be saved and save them. Lick your loved ones. Don't put on a sad face for the past and lament what might have been. Just enjoy the present, and that's the reason for being with you. And thus, we come to the end of this heartwarming movie. I hope you enjoyed the summary. If you did, remember you can support the channel by leaving a like, subscribing, and ringing the bell. Don't forget to comment below your favorite part.